Smarter Approaches to Marijuana is against any business profiting off of adult use cannabis. Yet the literal mom and pop owners of Claudine Field Apothecary, Jasmine Buremsand King Aswad, returned to the land and their agricultural roots before they were interested in growing hemp. But after New York State charted a pathway for farmers or cultivators' involvement in a legalized cannabis industry, they prepared to add the cash crop to their Claudine fields.
Welcome to Claudine Field Apothecary here in the Berkshires, and welcome to our space.
Where King Aswad and Jasmine Buremsand processed this year's cannabis harvest. They were awarded their adult use cultivator and a processor license in May, just 7 years after leaving Bed-Stuy to return to their homesteading herbalist roots. After growing their own food and raising honeybees, the couple branched out to hemp through New York State's Industrial Carbon Sequestration and Regenerative Agriculture Research Program, making them eligible for the Seeding Opportunity Initiative 3 years later.
We're coming from a very grassroots, community-centered, wellness-focused perspective, and it's really starting from the ethos of our small family farm. And we're hoping to grow into a large company with 150 employees. And we're hoping to, really provide security, stability, and a workplace of dignity and determination, self-determination for people within our community. There is a license coming on board. We expect for the applications to open maybe next year for a particular type of license called a micro business license. The micro business license would allow us to cultivate a limited canopy of cannabis, but also process, manufacture, distribute, and retail our own product. It's similar to like a farm brewery model or a winery model where the cultivator is allowed to bring their product directly to the market. In the case of New York, what's proposed is that we could have a dispensary under a micro business license, but we could not sell other farms or other cultivators' products. We could only sell our own products. As a micro business licensee, we would also be able to distribute our brand to other dispensaries. So we could distribute to all the other dispensaries and have our own headquarters where we sell our own product.
When Buremsand and Aswad left Brooklyn, the city slickers didn't have driver's licenses. They started their farm, as well as their young family, the same year. And as the pair graduated from water buckets to irrigation systems, their children, or little herbalists, were empowered to engage with the plant kingdom, but protected from hemp and cannabis canopies.
We don't want all the trichomes rubbing off on their hands. It's also bitter and spicy, and it will burn the eyes, the oil, the resins from the plant. So primarily we keep them away for that reason. And, from, our perspective, just like if we were to cultivate cayenne pepper, we don't want the children touching the cayenne pepper either, We really direct them to other plants that they, play with and make medicine with. For us, it's not a big stigma. It's a part of our life, and it's a part of their environment for sure. And we really try not to weigh it down with extra stigma. We don't really want to make them more curious about it. I wouldn't leave a bottle of Robitussin within reach of my child. I wouldn't leave a tray of cannabis within reach of my child either.
We need to know our plants more, and that's the era that we need to be moving back into. So I support anyone who wants to educate their children. I like Jasmine said, we all the time when the children ask, "What is that, Daddy?" It's a plant, right? I start with that, and then I can start talking about the qualities of it. And my daughter asked the difference between the plants that we're growing now and the plants that we were growing before, and I think my answer was this one has to have more security around it. More people want this one for the recreational purpose. More people want to play around with it versus CBD.
Claudine Field Apothecary's commitment to their family and community-based grassroots align with some of the benefits of the Seeding Opportunity Initiative that claims to be the first statewide cannabis industry policy, with infrastructure supporting BIPOC, women, veteran, and legacy market-owned entrepreneurship, endeavoring to rectify injustices during the war on drugs. Yet Burem and Aswad only know one other Black-owned farm awarded an adult-use cultivator's license. The cannabis cultivators wanted to see more of themselves in the industry and created the Institute of Afrofuturist Ecology. To Burem and Aswad,
people who were directly impacted by the war on drugs need to come and feel this energy, need to come and feel this freedom, need to come and see, and recognize that this is a moment, we have a long history of challenges and with cash crops, exploitation and extraction. And this is a cash crop, for us as farmers, we will always grow food. We are committed to growing food for our community. We will always grow food. We will always grow medicinal herbs. We will not abandon that and replace all of the vegetables in our farm with cannabis.
No monocropping.
No, we don't believe in monocropping.
I think farming is the new hip hop. And I think that it is a new movement that's happening, and it is time for our people to get back to the land and get back to ourselves with our hands in the soil.
In the meantime, Jasmine Buremsand and King Aswad will keep spending most of their lives living in a grower's paradise.